Today I'm watching Goosebumps Season 2, Episode 7. You can check out my reaction to Season 1, and I'm also watching the TV show Are You Afraid of the Dark? So you can check out those reaction videos on my channel as well. I'm really enjoying Goosebumps. I haven't read any of the books. I have a few, but I haven't read them. So let me know in the comments how different it is from the source material. I'm going to have to read some to see for myself. But yeah, I'm very curious to see how different it is. Sometimes for TV shows, they have to make, certain adjustments to make it work for TV. I'm hoping at least the base story is the same and they haven't changed anything drastically. But yeah, let me know in the comments. I'm really enjoying the anthology style, and it's interesting to kind of see the twists. I feel like there's a lot more twists in Goosebumps than Are You Afraid of the Dark? And obviously we have a different cast, each episode as it's an anthology, and I think they're doing a good job with the variety of stories that they're telling as well. I never watched this show when I was younger. I was way too scared. I stayed away from anything horror related. I've just started watching horror movies more recently for the channel within the last few years. But yeah, I remember my friends would watch this, but I stayed away from it. I was way too scared. So it's interesting to watch it now as an adult. And some of them are still scary to watch, now. So they would have been terrifying if I would have watched them when I was younger. But thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And if you want to have a say in what movies or TV shows I watch, be sure to join Patreon. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content.
You're over the hill. It's time to retire. Permanently.
Are these real comic book characters? Let me know. They don't look like I don't recognize any of them, but...
Thanks for dropping by, Mutant. Another victory over evil for the League of Good Guys.
I recognize this voice, too. That looks like Venom.
Squid bugs.
Like a bad version of Venom, but...
The masked mutant mutated into a giant squid. Look, he's the galloping gazelle in a death grip. Oh, dear.
Skipper? What did I say about those comic books? No reading comic books till all your homework is finished.
Is this Dad from like 1954? What are we doing?
Your obsession with these things, it's unhealthy. You don't pay attention to anything else. He doesn't pay attention to anything
Oh,
else.
Skipper, try to...
This dad is too much, and the mom is just being like overly polite.
Skipper!
Yeah? Dinner time? Oh, yes.
Jumping jelly beans.
Jumping language.
Only a comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like the Wolverine cut out in the corner. Yeah. Oh, it's coming to life. Oh, that's terrifying. Really cool, though. That was a cool effect.
I don't get what the big deal about comic books is.
Well, I don't get you and your rocks.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I feel like most kids were like really into something. Like, you had that one thing you were obsessed with, so.
Me too. Want to trade?
What for?
Yeah, the same sandwich.
Hey, want to see a piece of square books?
And an ad for Goosebumps on the side of the bus. 2 thumbs up. I'm very curious to see this episode's gonna go. Yeah, obviously this character's come to life now and is following this kid.
It's not dumb, Libby. The gazelle's at the end of his career. He has to battle the mutant for the fate of the planet. What's so dumb about that?
No pressure, no pressure. Okay. They just let him off like under this bridge? What? Whoa!
Headquarters.
How did that get here? Whoa! Like the double blink. I love sci-fi, I like comic books, so yeah, I'm very curious to see where this is gonna go.
Got it. Solve the mystery. Who draws the masked mutant? Who's the artist?
His t-shirt's the periodic table of the elements. Oh man. Reading under the covers. Yeah, because he's supposed to go to bed. And yeah, the mutant looks like Batman, Venom mix, like something.
Masked mutant.
Yeah. Well, good night, Dad.
I was starting to worry about you, son.
Okay, Dad.
He's like, oh, okay. There's no way he was staying up reading algebra.
It looked like this.
wonder you're seeing things. This stuff will rot your mind.
Everybody hates comic books in this episode. Oh, man.
I'm gonna find out what it is.
He's like, this guy, I'm worried about him.
An invisibility curtain? Now I know why they call you Skipper. When they handed out brains, you got skipped. We are now stepping through the invisibility curtain.
Very funny.
That was a cool transition. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Not very protective if anybody can just walk through. I mean, yes, it is invisible, but like no barriers or anything for the superhero.
Come on, let's go in.
Go in, are you crazy?
Don't even stop to think about it. Just go.
He's like, let's not worry about this. This seems totally normal. Just head on into this superhero's lair.
What was that?
It was what?
You just got like x-rayed? What was that? Yeah, like electrocuted? What?
Avenging Eagle comics. I think it was issue 4. It was a beam that led to a parallel dimension.
Oh!
No way.
Okay, Libby, let's go.
HQ1, HQ2. He's got his own elevator.
That's sad. That's really sad.
I love this concept of the comic book coming to life and in real life. So cool. Just up.
I just feel funny. Kinda tingly.
Is he turning into the masked mutant?
Slow. They'll open, watch.
We'll be trapped in here forever. The air run out. We'll suffocate.
Good thing she's not panicking. Oh my gosh.
Where are we?
Basement, I guess.
I love the whoop 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 whoop, like the sci-fi sounds in the background. Yeah, it's always a good idea to press all the buttons at once. Yep.
What's that?
It was the furnace. It was just the furnace. Come on, let's find some stuff.
With this like eerie red glow over them and like the yellow or the green and blue up ahead as well. So they can't walk in their shadows.
Libby, is that you?
Is Libby a ghost? Where'd she go? What is this? Like a drafting table? Oh, shoot.
Whoa!
That's pretty cool. Yeah, all the different artwork.
It's me.
What?
Why are there pictures of me?
Holding the folders, doing exactly what he's doing now. That's crazy.
Is that you? Libby? Are you down here?
Whoa! With the flashes of the mutant over top. Dun 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 dun. Adam West. Okay, I was like, I feel like I knew this voice somewhere. So that was my first time watching Goosebumps Season 2, Episode 7, this Attack of the Mutant, Part 1. It was the first two-part episode that I've seen so far, so I'm curious if the book was longer. Like, I thought all the books would be the same length, especially with they're targeted towards kids. You know, they're shorter, like, chapter books. So, yeah, let me know in the comments if this was a particularly long book or why this warranted getting 2 episodes and some episodes, you know, only getting 1. I know they're short episodes at, like, 22 minutes. So, yeah, I'm very curious as to why this felt like it needed further explanation. Obviously having that cliffhanger ending with, you know, I'm assuming it's the mutant coming in to attack Skipper, as we have like that flash of the mutant kind of over Skipper. So I'm very curious to see where this is gonna go. I really love the concept of this comic book, you know, coming to life. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Creepshow, as that's based on a comic book, you know, the 80s movie as well, with having these different anthologies. So yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting this premise. I feel like the masked mutant looks like Batman meets Venom, so obviously would have taken inspiration from real life, you know, comic book characters. And, you know, he had the Wolverine cutout in his room as well. And I feel like most kids were really obsessed with like one thing, you know, for a short period of time at least. You know, they were really into rocks, for example. Like his friend is, you know, completely into rocks and he doesn't understand the concept of comic books, or like doesn't understand the interest behind them. And, you know, Skipper doesn't understand the interest in rocks. So it's interesting to have these two guys be friends. And we have both parents in this episode as well. And very different personalities from the parents, which is interesting. The mom seems like very, very sweet and like, you know, accommodating and willing to do anything for her family. And then the dad is just very focused on school and thinks comic books are stupid and, you know, doesn't want his kid reading these comic books, thinks they're rotting his brain basically. And the dad seemed like he was like out of 1954. I don't know if that was intentional. It was just the way he was like in costume and stuff too. And his tone of voice and the way he was like scolding his son made me think that this wouldn't have happened in the 90s, but who knows? And I'm very curious if that's how he was portrayed in the book. And I love that they, you know, put in relatable content. This kid's taking the bus. It was definitely filmed in Toronto. If you've seen, you know, the Toronto skyline, you can see the tower where his headquarters was for this mutant. Like that scene, you know, looks very familiar. So that's interesting. And I love that this is a Canadian project as well. And I'm assuming Adam West was the voice that we heard at the beginning for the intro, because I was like, it sounds so familiar and I couldn't place it. So, and I did see his name in the credits, and I'm assuming it's Batman Adam West, as this is a comic book episode as well. That would seem, you know, very fitting. Adam West is my favorite Batman, so I'm very excited to see his name in this. And I don't know if he'd make a guest appearance in the next episode. That would be amazing, but I really like that shot they had of the comic book, you know, slowly getting bigger, and you can see the image like pushing out from the book. And I thought, okay, maybe that's, you know, the start of it. I wasn't expecting him to come to life basically in the next scene. You know, we see that like POV through the bushes at the school when he's watching Skipper. But Skipper is a diehard comic book fan. Like he's, you know, staying up late reading them. He can't put them down. And he's not just like, oh, you know, this is a fun story. Like he's into the artwork and is like getting, you know, defensive to Libby. And Skipper calls the comic books Libby is into like dumb. He's like, how can you read that? It's so boring. Like the artwork's stupid. And like he is very, you know, a diehard comic book fan and is so dedicated to this and has, you know, this is his passion. He's so interested in it, which I think is great. And I love seeing, like, I feel like that would be a very relatable thing. Even if it wasn't comic books, I feel like most kids are into, you know, something. And to have not only this mutant character come to life, but to have his headquarters come to life, and then to have this, you know, invisibility over top of it. But when the comic book arrives, it literally gives Skipper directions about how to get it. He's like, it's still there, it's just invisible, and he knows everything about these comic books, so he knows how to get through it. And we don't get to see the interior in the comic books, but it's very colorful and kind of reminded me a little bit of, you know, Killer Clowns from Outer Space with like the pink columns and everything, and him and Libby in this elevator, which had some very interesting buttons. But it was so cool to see that set come to life. And, you know, I love that the show adds these new elements into each episode, because this is only, you know, like they're not going to use this set again. Like I'm assuming it'll be in the next episode, but, you know, after that, and so much work would have to go into something that's only going to be seen, you know, a few times. So I really appreciate the work that they put into it and the creativity. I don't know what Libby's character is up to. She definitely kind of appeared out of nowhere. She just was on the bus, and then Skipper couldn't find her towards the end anyway, and he finds, you know, the drawing room where they do all the artwork for the comics, and he's, you know, sees these pictures of himself. So like, is he gonna end up being trapped in the comic book? Like, I'm very curious to see where this is gonna go, because the mutant is a bad guy and he saw some good guy drawings, so I don't know where that's gonna go. But yeah, definitely interesting to have this as a 2-part episode as well. I thought the acting from Skipper and Wilson was good. They definitely just seemed like they were being themselves, you know, being kids, and, you know, Skipper having his orthodontist appointments as well. I feel like I'm a tougher critic on the adult actors in these shows, especially when, you know, we have both parents in the episode, because they're adults and they should have more experience in acting. But I feel like the dad is just so overdoing it. Same with the mom is overdoing it as well. And that's not taking me out of it, but it's a little bit, some scenes you're like, oh, okay, let's just get through this scene. I'm curious to find out what that electrical shock, it looks like almost like an X-ray, like you could see his skeleton, you know, for that quick second when Skipper walked into the headquarters. So yeah, I don't know if that's gonna turn him into the mutant, what that's gonna mean. It definitely looked like as we ended, you know, he was having this face-off with the mutant. So, you know, an interesting way to end it for sure. Overall, I thought it was an interesting concept for an episode, something we haven't really seen so far with this comic book. So yeah, I'm very curious to see where this is gonna end, if it's gonna warrant being 2 episodes, if they could have put it into 1 episode, I'm not too sure. But yeah, it sounds like, you know, Skipper's in trouble facing off with the mutant, but it also sounds like he really likes this character. So yeah, I don't know what that's gonna do. And there's usually some kind of twist in the Goosebumps episodes as well. So yeah, I'm very excited to continue watching and see where the next part is going to go. But thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. Yeah, the same sandwich. Characters come to life now and is following this kid. They just let him off like under this bridge. His t-shirt's the periodic table of the elements. There's no way he was staying up reading algebra. He just got like x-rayed? What was that? Yeah, like electrocuted? HQ1, HQ2. He's got his own elevator.